Welcome to the very first episode of Plugged In with Enovate AI. I'm Alex here, joined by my co-host, Jordan.
Hey everyone, super excited to finally kick this off. We've been talking about this podcast for a while now, and it feels great to actually be here.
Absolutely. And for those tuning in, this is going to be your go-to spot for insightful discussions right at that fascinating intersection of energy, technology, and of course, artificial intelligence.
Yeah, we'll be diving deep into how AI is really reshaping the energy landscape, what it means for operators, and, what the future holds. It's a pretty exciting space.
So, Jordan, now that we've, set the stage a little bit, I think it's time we really dig into the heart of it. Innovate AI itself. For listeners who might be new to us, what's our core mission really?
Good point, Alex. I think at its core, Enovate AI is all about bringing AI driven end to end solutions to the energy sector. We're not just like offering a piece of software, we're looking at the whole ecosystem for operators. Our main goal is pretty ambitious, to achieve unprecedented gains across the board.
Unprecedented gains. That's a strong statement. Can you elaborate a bit on what kind of gains we're talking about there? Because I know it's not just about one thing, right?
Exactly. When we say unprecedented gains, we're really focused on three key areas. First, it's about production optimization. How can we help energy operators get more out of their existing assets more efficiently? Then there's a huge emphasis on emissions reduction. That's massive right now, as we all know, and it's something our AI solutions are built to tackle head on.
Right, because it's not just about, measuring emissions anymore. It's about actively reducing them and finding smart ways to do it.
Absolutely. And the third piece is overall efficiency. This ties into everything from operational efficiency to streamlining processes, basically making the entire energy value chain smarter and leaner through AI. So, whether it's a small independent or a super major, we're aiming to redefine how they approach energy optimization and decarbonization. It's a pretty comprehensive approach.
That's really well put, Jordan. And it leads us nicely into the how of it all, right? Because it's one thing to say AI driven solutions and unprecedented gains, but people are probably wondering, okay, how do you actually do that? And that's where our unified digital strategy comes in, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, Alex. Unify is really the backbone of how we deliver on those promises. Think of it as our proprietary framework, if you will, that brings everything together. It's not just a single piece of tech. It's a strategy that integrates our own platforms with, a very carefully curated network of ecosystem partners.
So it's like a comprehensive, integrated approach where you're not just building everything from scratch, but you're also leveraging the best of what's out there. Is that kind of the idea?
Precisely. We've developed proprietary platforms that are central to our analytics and AI capabilities. But we also recognize that the energy sector is vast and specialized. So rather than trying to be all things to all people, we partner with trusted specialists. These partners bring like specific services and technologies that complement our core offerings.
And the goal of that seamless connection between your own platforms and these partners, is it to simplify complexity for the client? Because energy data and especially decarbonization pathways can get incredibly complex very quickly.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge part of it. The complexity in energy operations, especially now with so much data coming in from, sensors, different systems, legacy infrastructure, it can be overwhelming. The Unify strategy is designed to cut through that by seamlessly connecting all these pieces. Our platforms, our partners' expertise, we create a unified AI driven solution.
So it takes all that disparate data and all these different elements and kind of make sense of them, providing a clear path.
Exactly. It ensures a smooth path from just raw, messy data all the way to effective decarbonization. So clients aren't stuck trying to stitch together different softwares or different consultants. We provide that end to end orchestration, making it much more digestible and actionable for them. It's all about simplification, really, while maximizing impact.
So it really takes all that disparate data and all these different elements and kind of makes sense of them, providing a clear path. So we've really dug into the how with the unified digital strategy, which is obviously incredibly important in simplifying things. But let's pivot a bit, Jordan, and talk about the why now. Why is AI in the energy sector, and specifically what Enovate AI is doing, so incredibly relevant and urgent at this very moment?
That's a crucial question, Alex, because the energy landscape is just, it's transforming at an unprecedented pace. We're seeing immense pressure, right? From regulatory bodies, from investors, from the public, to not only optimize production, but also to drastically reduce emissions. It's no longer a nice to have, it's a fundamental shift in how the industry operates.
Right. And you see headlines almost daily about whether it's new emissions targets or, the growing focus on ESG, environmental, social, and governance reporting. It's not just about the bottom line anymore. It's about sustainable operations. So how does Enovate AI really fit into that particular trend of, say, emissions reduction?
Exactly. Emissions reduction or decarbonization as a whole is a perfect example. Traditionally, managing emissions has been, frankly, reactive and often very manual. You get data, you report it, but it's hard to get real time insights that drive action. Enovate AI changes that. We're not just providing a reporting tool, we're transforming emissions data into strategic value.
So it's not just about meeting a compliance checklist. It's about seeing that data as an actual asset.
Correct. It enables compliance, obviously, which is critical. But beyond that, by applying AI to this data, we can identify patterns, predict inefficiencies, and pinpoint opportunities to reduce emissions in ways that weren't previously possible. And when you can do that efficiently, it means you're not just avoiding penalties, you're actually creating value.
It's really interesting. When you say unlocking new revenue streams, can you elaborate on that a bit in the context of emissions? Because for a lot of operators, emissions have historically been seen as purely a cost, right?
They have been, and for good reason. But with sophisticated AI driven analyses, you can optimize processes to the point where, for example, methane leaks are minimized, flaring is reduced, or energy consumption across assets is significantly lowered. That translates directly into less wasted product, less wasted energy, which is a cost savings. But then, there's also the potential for carbon credits or improved market valuation due to a strong ESG profile, which effectively becomes a new form of revenue or enhanced value.
So it's almost like the data itself, once intelligently processed, becomes a currency or at least a powerful lever for both compliance and new financial opportunities.
Absolutely. It's moving from a cost center to a value driver. That's the core of why AI is not just relevant, but urgent right now. It provides the granular insight and the predictive power to navigate these complex, evolving challenges, turning what were once potential issues into strategic advantages. It's all about, optimizing every facet of the operation, seeing the bigger picture from the data.
That's a really powerful shift in perspective, Jordan, taking something traditionally seen as a cost or a compliance burden and turning it into a strategic advantage, even a revenue generator. But let's zoom out a bit. Beyond just the emission side, what's the broader impact, the full value proposition of partnering with Enovate? Because it seems like it's about more than just compliance.
Absolutely. It's truly holistic. Think about it. Our approach, that collaborative model we touched on earlier, it's designed to drive operational efficiency across the board. So it's not just about one silo. It's optimizing everything from the wellhead to the processing plant?
So it's like connected operational intelligence.
Correct. we're really focused on optimizing production, like getting more out of existing assets. Because, every barrel, every cubic foot counts, especially when commodity prices can be volatile. It's about leveraging AI to predict maintenance needs, to fine tune processes in real time, to minimize downtime.
Right. It sounds like it's about squeezing every bit of potential out of the infrastructure you already have. And how does that tie back into the emissions management we were talking about earlier? Is it all integrated?
It absolutely is. It's not a separate layer. Streamlining emissions management is part of that overall operational efficiency. If you're operating more efficiently, you're inherently producing less waste, less emissions. It goes hand in hand. When you optimize the production process, you naturally reduce flaring, you reduce energy consumption, you minimize fugitive emissions. It's all connected. And the unified digital strategy ensures that integration, so the data flows seamlessly, giving you that complete picture.
So if you're optimizing all these different facets, production, efficiency, emissions, it sounds like you're really talking about enabling peak asset performance. Is that the ultimate goal?
That's exactly it. Peak asset performance. It's about ensuring every piece of equipment, every operational process is performing at its absolute best, not just some of the time, but consistently. And the beauty of AI in this context is its ability to learn and adapt, continuously improving those performance metrics. It's not a static solution, it's dynamic. And, what happens when you achieve peak asset performance, coupled with really smart emissions management?
Well, you're cutting costs, increasing output. So that brings us back to those new revenue streams, doesn't it? Even when the market might be tough.
It does. Even when commodity prices are low, which is a reality we all face, optimizing operations and reducing emissions through AI can still unlock new revenue streams. Whether that's through, as we said, carbon credits or improved market valuation from ESG performance, or simply from avoiding waste and maximizing output from existing resources, it really transforms how operators can view their entire business model. It's about resilience and finding value in places that were previously just cost centers.
Well, that brings us to the end of our very first episode of Plugged In with Enovate AI. Jordan, this has been an incredibly insightful conversation, truly unpacking what Enovate is all about and, why it matters so much right now.
Absolutely, Alex. It's been great getting to share our vision and really the tangible impact we're seeing in the energy sector. We're just scratching the surface, I think, of what's possible with AI.
Agreed. And for all of you listening, thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to dive deeper, learn more about Enovate AI and our solutions, please visit us at enovate.ai. That's ENOVATE.ai.
And don't forget to subscribe to Plugged In with Enovate AI wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube and LinkedIn for future episodes and more content. We'll be bringing you more discussions at the intersection of energy, technology, and AI very soon.
So stay plugged in, and we'll catch you next time.